because I put file encoding no exactly. Okay, so retrieving files was successful, but there was a failure. Iterating object between SailPoint is able to read the files successfully, but it couldn't read the objects one by one, line by line. It couldn't read because the account schema doesn't have any attribute defined. We didn't define any attributes. I told you already, whatever attributes you are going to see in under Identity, those attributes are all Identity attribute. Whatever attribute you are going to see in here in this file spread in that Excel sheet. These are going to be called application attribute. Or else you can see a point attribute. These are the account-related attributes. First name, last name. Are you able to understand the difference? What is the difference between identity attribute and a quants attribute? You can see application as well, but it's different. Let's turn later. So these are the things called a quants attribute. We didn't declare this upon the attribute in the applications. So let's do that. Just go to Schema. Here you are going to define all the attributes one by one. You have to click on the Add New Attribute. Here you are going to mention name. Okay, so what will be the description and what will be the type for this attribute? Again, you are going to click on that again, the last name you have to add. Something like you have to add one by one if you want to do it manually. Okay, so just click on the Discuss Schema Attributes. So let me do one thing. As you said, instead of comma, comma is the pipeline, but I'm going to use pipeline instead of comma. I'm going to have mention pipeline. Just stick here. Why we are doing? Let me tell you, instead of comma, have used pipeline. So if I'm going to use pipeline, what will happen? Click on the Discuss Schema Attributes. It will be able to fetch all the attributes from the file. So it's able to fetch, but there is some error. Because we didn't use the proper delimiter. So I'm going to mention comma only now. Just have a check. I'm going to delete the schema, delete the attribute. I'm going to click on the first attribute. All the attribute will fetch properly. Employee ID, first name, last name, manager ID. Everything will be fixed perfectly. Is it clear how we are going to create this account attribute from the target system? So we are going to mention the file name here. Okay, we are going to from where we are going to fetch the file. What is the type? Delimiter type on how we are going to create an attribute. So just click on the preview. All the detail will be shown here, all the employee details. So, before that, specify the identity attribute before running the test here. We need to mention what is the identity attribute and display attribute. You have to mention identity attribute. Let me select this, one that has identity attribute. It will be set. So these are the things you are going to get it from the client. No need to worry about these things. So let me select full name as this player. Guys, just try to create the same in your system today. Okay. So just click on the preview. All the employee details will be populated. Like, we have added 2 employees and 1 employee has already present. So this is how. Just click on the test now. This connection, which means SailPoint, is able to read the file properly and it's in a position. It's in a place to create all the identity perfectly. Right. Okay, just leave this. That's it. We have created an application. So let's talk about the remaining tabs, if time permits, or else we will continue tomorrow. I'll complete how to create an application, how to get those identities. So far, we have created an application now. I'm going to import all the identities. How we are going to import using the task. So to do that, just click on the setup, go to task. So we have a topic called task. So we will learn later. So let me create the task, and I'll tell you. So we are going to import all the accounts. So I'm going to click on the account aggregation. So you can mention that application name over here. Application name or drive. Something random. One can use anything. South Drive, Google, and aggregation. So these even everything we will discuss later when the topic comes. I'm going to select an application to scan. So application name is Drive Google. And I'm going to create all the identity. I'm going to impose, just even execute. Drive Google account aggregation has been executed in the background. Okay, it's been that Drive Google account aggregation has been executed successfully. There is no error, okay. So this is the important one. It clear, guys. So applications can Google Drive. The application can total 3 identities were present, in that we are able to create 2 identities. 1 identity was already present, so if there is any changes, it will update. Is it make sense? First we create the application, and then we import identities. We are using aggregation. Why we are going to import identities? Because we need to manage. From there, we are going to get those identities from HR, from application team. Application team could be anything for a learning purpose. I have taken HR people. Since employees going to join all the organization, we are going to feed all the details in the Excel sheet. From there I'm going to get all the identities. So this is how it design. I'm explaining. Like a meaning of aggregation is like addition, right? Or no, aggregation is nothing. Aggregation means you are going to aggregate those data into SailPoint using the connector. Connector will act in the back end. Okay. So what exactly is meaning of aggregate? Aggregate means you can take an example import. You are going to import those identities. Okay. These are the fancy words. If you're going to work on the SailPoint, you should know onboard aggregate out of the box. A number of things are there, but when it comes to the practical, it's going to be very simple. Aggregate is nothing you can consider its import. You are going to import all the identities, all data. Now understand. Yes. Okay. So already 3 accounts were. I mean 3 data. It'd be you are able to see in this spreadsheet right here. But one identity already created to identity. We have added. So those 2 identity has been created. One has been updated. Update means if you make any changes it will update or else it will leave as it is. So just go ahead and check the identity. So Rakesh, what connector you use for use here? Since I know the data has been stored in the Excel sheet. Excel format is CSE, comma separated value. So I can use Delimiter. Limiter was the connector. Exactly. Right. So I have created 2 identities. You can check here. So Vinay and Rama. I think I have created. Does it make sense? So all 2 identities has been created. One quick question. So now we created the application. We imported identity also. Right? I think in SailPoint itself.